What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Junior and the Big Dog, your favorite father and son duo covering Miami Hurricanes football and sports. What's up, big dog?
What do you say? What do you say, everybody? Good evening. Those of you who joined us already early, George, John Shields, at Gallo Negro, Chaos Kane. I'm sure we're having several other people. Yeah, Chaos, I did see you. In fact, we were going to talk some about that too, since there's not a lot of Kane's stuff to talk about. We'll talk about some of those Dolphin moves and other moves and goings in the NFL
A
too.
lot of stuff. I
Uh,
mean, that's basically the only thing we could talk about right now is
yeah,
NFL free agency is the only thing that's been going on really for the past couple of
yeah.
weeks. So, you
What do you
know,
say, Mark, Yella, Taz, all you guys? Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, please hit the like button. And as always, if you're new, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and press all so you get notified every time that we drop a new video. We actually obviously still have some videos to catch up on some of the last members of the class of 2020 that we have to do video breakdowns on that we haven't done them. Junior, obviously, with the twins. And he actually had some computer issues, which is on the mend. But now, obviously, with some other stuff going on in the world, and I hope and pray that all of you, all of your families, are safe and healthy, and I hope that stays to be the case here in the next couple of months, which appear to be troubling. What we have in store for us here in the next month or two. But here I'll be praying.
so much for a spring game,
Yeah,
guys.
you're not kidding, man. You're not kidding. We talked about this. What do you say, wholesome Jason? Ocala, Hialeah bread. What do you say, Primo? Yeah, it's we couldn't do the show last week. What do you say, Jay? I hope you're feeling better and that you're on the mend. And obviously our first responders in times like this become even more important to us. And we realize how they put themselves in harm's way for us every day. And I hope you're on the mend and feeling better. Man, it's times like this when you realize, how much things can change in a matter of moments and people's lives and in the world as a whole. Last week, Junior had to watch the twins. Somebody came up with his wife where she got called in unexpectedly to work, and then Slim, thank you so much, Slim, for the donation. He
Thank you,
says
Slim. What's up, brother?
TB12 to Tampa Bay. Bucks about to get another ring. I'll tell you what, that's getting used to the idea of seeing Tom Brady in any uniform is going to be amazing to us. Seeing him outside of finally the AFC East, so we don't have to deal with him twice a year, is going to be something. But seeing with Tampa Bay, man,
You know why he left New England, right?
I think it's just Belichick. I think he was
No,
done.
I think it's because the Dolphins sent him packing. We
we scared him.
we beat them in New England.
That's
Okay,
right. We scared him.
so last time we played Mr. Tom Brady, we beat him in his own house. So he was like, "Hey, man,
Hey,
Brian
hey,
Flores doing some big things down there in South Florida. I don't know if I want to be in this division anymore." Just saying.
somehow I don't think that was the case. Hurricane Logan with the big donations. Thank you,
What's
Logan.
going
He
on,
said,
Logan?
"Love you guys. Been way out of the loop. Sorry, Logan. No,
Yeah,
no apologies necessary,
no,
man.
never that, man. And
Yeah,
and there hasn't been much going on for sure for the past couple
yeah.
of weeks. So that is what it is, man.
Oh, Big Bam Entertainment. He said, not to sound preachy, but God has a way of getting our attention. Be blessed, be safe, go Canes. Big
Amen.
Bam, I could not have said it better myself, man.
Yep.
You said it perfectly.
Absolutely.
That's one of those things that I was talking to my wife, obviously, when she's a school teacher, and here in Ohio, they canceled. As of right now, it's supposedly a 3-week cancellation, but I believe that it's probably going to be the end of the school year. And we were talking about that, and just to bring things back.
I told you they closed down all K through 12 schools in Florida until the 15th, right? At
Oh, the
least.
15th, yeah. Here, I think Basic is closed for the next 3 weeks. So it's around the same time. But I have a feeling Kansas already canceled it for the rest of the school year. And I think pretty soon all these other states are going to follow suit. But you're right. It's a way of
Boy Jay.
and the thing that my wife and I were talking about, it's sort of things like this force you to realize, not necessarily change your perspective, but to realize what your perspective is. And when you have your loved ones, when you have those people that you care about, that they're safe and they're healthy, and that takes precedence over anything else. Where like we were talking about last week, we couldn't do the show, and we were a little upset about that. But little did we know how much the world was going to change in a period of a week for all of us here. And we've gone from that to be a concern to now all of a sudden all these other concerns are so much more serious. And again, I'm praying for all of you and all of your families, and hopefully they'll be safe and healthy all through this. And listen,
This is
better.
unprecedented. Like we have never.
Oh, completely unprecedented.
And Big Dog. I mean, you've obviously you've been around longer than I have, and then a lot of people that we got in the chat, and you've never been through something like this.
Well, that's the thing that one of the
Crazy.
other things I also told my wife is, it comes up a certain point in time in your life when you've been through and you've lived a full life and you've experienced a lot of things that you think to yourself, well, I've seen it all. And no, I hadn't seen it all, because in my entire life, there's been nothing like this.
Hey, we can't forget, even though we're talking about this, no matter what, orange and green blood's in the house. So you know what that means.
Cohen. It's all about the U, Cohen. That's for you, buddy. Jay, the family base, says we need supplies at the local firehouse. So, Jay, let us know where that firehouse is. And those of you that can, please, please, please donate. Man, those of us that have a position that, not that I'm not saying that we're necessarily, we don't have to be filthy rich, but those of us that have a position financially where we can help out those less fortunate, please, please, please do that. And Jay was saying that he needs supplies at the local firehouse. Man, that's a great thing to support, because they'll make sure that that those get put in the right direction. And those of you, man, locally, we've talked a lot about what I'm doing here with special needs. And guys, it's times like this, if you're fortunate enough to be in a situation where you can help others, man, what a great time to take that blessing and pass them. He says all of them. Jay says all of the fire stations. And guys, there's a lot of things locally that you can do to help out people in need. Because obviously, there's some children that, for example, get school breakfast and they get school lunch. Well, now those things are not going to be there. So there's things there's places you can go to help and to donate either supplies or money, and and just help out those that are less fortunate. And Gallo Negro says we're going to be okay. I believe that
we will, man. We will.
We'll get through this.
Listen, this is something that that regardless of, I personally think it's going to take quite some time for things to get back to normal, man. Obviously, some measures are being taken. A lot of places are being closed down. Schools, and you might see some lockdowns in some states, followed by, who knows, if this gets worse. The federal government might just say, let's just shut everything down, and
shelter in place,
pretty much. But with that being said, man, and I was talking to one of my friends about this. I believe, in my opinion, that we live in the best time, and for most of us that are here in the States, in the best country in the history of the world. I mean, with the advances in medicine, like, guys, this is something that, I mean, it's tough right now. We've never seen it before, but it is what it is. If this was like in 1918, where millions of people died worldwide, like, just imagine if something like this would hit in a different generation, in the past generations, where we didn't have so many hospitals, and we didn't have all these tests, and we didn't have I know we're a little bit behind the ball when it comes to this, but this is something new. But this too shall pass, man. You know what I'm saying? And tough times are coming. Don't get me wrong, and it's only going to get worse from here, frankly.
Yeah,
Um,
tough
but
times don't last, but tough people do.
tough people do, man. So
Yeah.
this too shall pass, man. Sports will be back.
Life will be back to normal.
Life will eventually be back to normal. How long it takes before it gets back to normal, who knows, man? But it will get back to normal, nonetheless.
Yeah, and that's one thing, guys. Keep your sanity, man, because this is going to be one of those things that you're looking at. It's probably going to be optimistically. It'll probably be June before things start really getting back to normal.
I think that's like super optimistic. Big
That's being
dog.
optimistic, yeah.
That's like
And
super.
what I'm saying by that is, I sent a message to our family. We have a family group chat.
What's up, Lakers
Um,
all day?
what do you say? What do you say? And one of the things I said is, man, you guys got to make sure keep your mental health too, because don't take a break from listening to the news. Take a break from that. Play some board games with the family. Watch shows that you wanted to binge and stuff. Watch them together like a family. Just do things to try to get, especially when you have children, to try to get as much normalcy in their life as you can get, because as adults we sort of know what's going on and it makes us anxious. Well, imagine a lot of children, especially younger children, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, that they sort of think they know but they don't know, and they're going to get the way that they react. They're going to get those cues from you. So the more you can sort of give them a sense of normalcy in their life, the better it'll be for them, and the better it'll be. And Brett says a great time to spend time with the family.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Take advantage of it, guys. I know a lot of us have, a lot of guys are worried about, your paychecks and stuff like that. And those are real true worries. And
Oh,
apparently there's things that are going to be done to sort of alleviate the situation temporarily for people.
Mhm.
And hopefully that gets done. But at the same time, you gotta keep your mental health, man, and you gotta come together as families, as groups, as the circle of friends that you have. Take care of each other, and man, there'll become a point in time here in the near future where we could actually worry about that defensive back, if he's going to commit or not. That we can worry about the offensive line. That we can worry about these things that we all come together about and care about. And there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, man, just we have to take our minds off it. Ocala said this perfectly. He says, I know it's a dead serious time. Let's take our minds off it and talk some Canes football. And I agree. And always wash your hands. Absolutely. Wash your hands. And don't, I have a habit of doing that, especially with the beard, of bringing my hands to my face a lot. And guys, I'm more or less self-quarantined because I've been sick. Me and my youngest have been sick for like the last week.
What's up, Kerry?
So I've been self-quarantining. But yeah, I mean, make sure you wash your hands and try to keep your hands away from your face, And also, guys, on surfaces, man, that thing can last on surfaces. I was hearing up to like 3 days. So make sure if you have to go out, if you have to be around,
what drives me
wash
crazy?
your hands as frequently as possible and don't touch your face.
What drives me crazy is that I just feel like they have no idea what is really because I heard that it could be on surfaces for 5 hours.
Well, it depends on the surface. They said metal surfaces is 3 days. I think cardboard, I think it was only 24 hours. Fabric, they said it was only like 5 hours. But it depends on the surface that there is.
Okay.
Yeah. So it depends on the surface. But you know what? Just do those things, man. Just wash your hands. Try not to touch your face as much as you normally do, and stuff like that. So
hey, that's a good point, Brett. If this was going on last year when we had Dan Enos, I think our office would have looked even worse of how complicated it was, and the fact that we have a very easy offense, and I'm sure. Hopefully, I mean, listen, guys, we don't know what's going on. Obviously, players can't be in the facility. They're not training. They're not practicing. They're not everything's shut down, man. Everything's shut down.
Think about this.
What?
If I would have said 2 weeks ago on our last show, if I would have said to you guys the NBA would be shut down. The XFL would be shut down. Soccer all around the world would be shut down. If I would have said all those things to you 2 weeks ago, you all would have thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
And yet here we are. And now I heard that the NBA is talking about that the earliest that they're thinking of coming back is late June, and that's with no fans in the stands.
Yeah.
And then playing to August. Okay, so that gives you an idea.
What's really gonna be crazy is that everybody's gonna be healthy, so you're gonna have it's gonna be they're gonna have a lot of energy bottled up, and everybody's gonna be fairly healthy with all this time off. So it's gonna be a heck of a playoff, NBA playoffs, that's for sure. Buffalo Sports says, "Dude, I just found out about the Diggs trade on Buffalo Sports Center on Instagram. I love the trade personally. It's all right. I feel like you guys gave up a lot for Diggs. Don't get me wrong. I like Diggs. I think Diggs is a heck of a player, but I think you guys gave up quite a bit. But listen, thank you for
they needed to shore up that wide receiver core though, for sure.
They did
for sure.
But how many? Because I forgot I remember glancing over it. They gave up a lot.
They gave up a bunch. Yeah, they gave up a bunch. They probably gave up more than I thought they needed to for Diggs.
Yeah.
But listen, they were a playoff team. They have the defense. I really think Josh Allen is starting to turn the corner in terms of the type of quarterback he could be.
Yeah.
And that was a missing piece. That was one of those pieces that, nowadays, especially in the NFL, you're building to get a 3-4 year window where you could compete, for it all.
Yeah.
And you have to make decisions like that.
Yeah.
Sammy, I do think to an extent, I think we went a little crazy too.
I disagree. No, what do you mean crazy?
No, I'm not arguing against it. I'm just saying that we went from like 0 to 60 in like a blink of an eye and just making deals left and right.
But if you got all that money, you have to be.
Hey.
That free agency pulls things out quick.
And overall, you can't argue with any of the pickups.
And listen, okay, because I know we're going to get people in here saying that we overpaid.
You okay?
What the heck is that? I'm hearing some weird noises in my pipes. I know people are going to say that we overpaid for Byron Jones. Listen, guys, the Miami Dolphins were not a good team. Everybody knows the Miami Dolphins are rebuilding. Every single free agency period, for the most part, players seem that they're getting overpaid because the market says it all. I mean, whatever the market demands, it is what it is. So, if you got a guy, we're not going to get into bidding wars with other teams when you're one of the worst teams in the NFL. So, frankly, sometimes you gotta throw in a couple extra million to get some players. And the fact that the Dolphins were basically working with almost $100 million in cap space. I mean, yeah, you gotta spend the money. You gotta spend the money. And listen, we got now the 2 highest paid corners in the NFL in Howard and Jones.
Hey, but two legit corners though.
Yeah, but Byron Jones is getting paid elite, one of the best cornerback.
Up until last year. Now, last year he didn't have a good year. Okay, but up until last year,
solid.
You could up until last year, you could say Byron Jones deserved that money.
No, I know.
Last year he had a drop off.
Last year he hasn't shown me enough to be the highest paid corner in the NFL.
No, I'm not saying highest, but I'm saying
he's the
top
highest.
10.
He is the highest. No.
I get that, but I'm saying but you can't go by that. Look at the contract that Kirk Cousins signs a year ago. And everybody was saying that the Vikings went crazy and overpaid, and now it looks like a bargain. Yeah, but now it looks like a bargain because now the landscape has changed completely.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand that, but we got a Kane as well.
Yes, we did, Mr. Flowers.
And I think he obviously, man, tackle was not his position.
No.
And the fact that he got moved to guard, we saw him improving. We saw him doing much better. He had a really good year with the Redskins last year, and hey, we need some offensive line help. We also got a center for the Patriots. We got Van Noy. I say we because we're Dolphins fans, but we could talk about free agency with any team if you guys would like. Being that there's not much going on with the Canes, we could talk Canes football as well, guys. I said it in the in the post, man. It's gonna be an open topic. Whatever you guys want to talk about, man, we can go ahead and talk about it. We're pretty much just we wanted to come out. Me and the big dog just wanted to chop it up with you guys. Not a lot
Guys,
has happened,
I'll tell
but
you what. You guys, I don't know if you believe it or not, man, but when we don't do the show like last week, we miss you guys, man. We miss
we do,
interacting
man.
with you guys, and
Especially with all this crap going on. Like I want to hear from
yeah,
y'all. I want to see
exactly,
if you
man.
guys are okay. Like everything's good. You guys got what you need. Like I just want to. I like interacting with you guys, man. Especially having a week off and now with all this crap going on. Like it, I was looking forward to this show, even though there's just not much to talk about except for NFL free agency is the only thing that's popping off right
Yeah,
now. But when it comes to the Canes, man, listen, if you guys want to talk about the Canes, let's talk about the Canes. Like whatever you
yeah,
guys
we can.
want to
We
get.
got. I think somebody was asking about offensive line with the Canes, and
You're talking
li-
about the Dolphins or was it the
oh, they
Canes?
were talking about the Dolphins. I didn't know if they were talking about the Dolphins or the Canes,
Um,
but I do think there's a couple.
Savion Collins is on decommit watch.
Yeah, I heard that Ocala, and yeah, I do think that's likely to happen. Um, he seems to want to go to Florida, but the thing I think with this class, Ocala, it's really different, man. Okay, let me put this in the right framework. What we did in 2020, considering the 6-7 season, was amazing. Okay, it was amazing. Not just that we held the core of the class together, we actually picked up Avante Williams late, picked up Isaiah Dunston, picked up Keyshawn Smith. We ended up after a 6-7 season improving our class greatly with even after the early signing period. That's amazing. That's amazing. The job that the staff did. Listen, I've been critical when I felt they deserved it, but I have to give kudos when I feel that they deserve it. And what they did on the recruiting trail last season with that horrible season, okay, was amazing. And they deserve full credit for it. Mm-hmm. The thing that I think is different this year, that it's going to be the exact opposite of last year, because here's the reality. 2021 is a legit, outside of a couple of positions, outside of running back, quarterback, maybe, outside of one or two positions in Florida, specifically South Florida, you have a class that comes along once every decade. That's how deep and how good this 2021 class is. Okay. Now, that being said, what I think is going to make this season recruiting 180 degrees opposite of last season is that we have no idea what our class is going to look like come early signing day in December. Because the people that I think we will have a shot at with a good season are guys that we don't necessarily have a shot at with right now. So we're not going to get those early commitments from those big fish that we're chasing. Okay. But I do think with a double-digit win season, a lot of those big fish will come in the boat. Okay, so this is a season that until November, I'd say even mid-November, we're not going to know what our recruiting class is truly going to look like.
Right.
And what's going to matter is what's our one-loss record come November. Are we 8-1? Then I'm thinking we're going to have one hell of a recruiting season, a top 10 class. Okay. A legit, I don't care what the rankings say. I'm talking about legit in terms of talent wise, top 10 class. Then if we're not at that point, we're in trouble. We're in trouble because now it's people have given, the recruits have sort of given Manny a mulligan, like saying, okay, that was your first season. You had a mismatch offensive coordinator with Enos. You had the issues with the culture and guys not putting in the work that they needed to put in. Okay, you got this year to fix it. Let's see. Now you bring in Rhett Lashley. Now you bring in De'Eric King, Quincy Roche, Jose Borregales. You did all these things. Okay, let's see it on the field. Now, if we're winning and having a product that's impressive, meaning that offense is, we're putting up a 50 burger every so often. We're putting up, we're averaging 40 points a game, 38 points a game. If that happens, then I think 10, 12 guys that we currently don't have committed will commit. And you'll see a guy like Savion Collins, where even if he does decommit, will come back to the class because he's been committed to us for a long time now. Okay. And I understand he's on decommit watch. But it's almost like, I'm not going to say I don't care, but it's almost like I don't care what happens in March because we have no idea what we're going to do recruiting until we get to November. And I will say that if in November we're not in a position of where we're looking good and we're 8-1 or whatever the record is, but we're winning, we're on a way to a double-digit win season and we're scoring points. If that doesn't happen, oh man, then we're in trouble. Then we're in trouble because now you're looking at a absolute rebuild. You're looking at Manny's job being in jeopardy. You're looking at Blake James being in jeopardy, which, listen, those things could end up being a blessing in disguise long term. But in the short term, it's going to hurt us because then we allowed a historically deep and talented top-tier class in Florida and South Florida specifically. We allowed them to head up. Listen, you can make a case. We talked about Palmetto. Just look at Palmetto High School. Okay, you're looking at Jason Marshall and Corey Collier. Okay, those are two super studs out of the same school.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention Collins, not to mention how deep that team is, and not just one team. Okay, now you're looking at the how great this talent is. If we do not have a good season to seize the day and to get a good chunk of that recruiting class, that's something that's going to have negative repercussions for half a decade.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the thing with recruiting is legitimately, I do not think we will know, no matter what happens with commits and decommits or whatever happens, until November comes around, we don't know what we're going to look like. Hopefully, if we are 8-1 and we are scoring 40 points a game or 38 points a game and laying some teams out.
If we're even playing football.
Yes, yeah, hopefully, God willing. Then you look at something that will be that class that together what we've done in the transfer portal, together what we did with 2018, together what we did with 2020.
Oh, yeah,
then you look at we're getting back to that top tier where we're ready to compete legitimately for the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, Ocala came. It's 100% fair to say that this is the best defense that De'Aaron King will see at practice for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
unless
the D line.
Yeah, but
just the D line, you're not going to fight a better D line in the country.
Yeah, the only time I think we're going to see, Virginia has a good defense. Pitt has a good defense, but I think we have a potentially. Listen, when it comes to just our defensive line, like Big Dog said, I think we're second to none. At the I think we're up there with the best schools on the defensive line. In the just in that position group. I think once you start, assuming the season goes well, assuming we get to play in Charlotte, then obviously he's going to see Clemson, and then that's a lot. That's a different level. But the fact that I think that's a positive that you're always going up against, this defense. You're going up against one of the best defenses in the country, because at the end of the day, guys, regardless of how, I know last year we didn't see necessarily the stats wise, the defense that we saw the year previous, and we had some hiccups with Baker and obviously losing the players that we lost to the NFL, youth in the secondary. So we were going to see a little bit of a setback, but you're still talking about an extremely solid defense. You're talking about Rousseau being arguably the best pass rusher in college football. Now we got Roche. We have the number
beast.
One recruit in 2017.
Jalen Phillips. You know what they should do game one?
My man
Have
Gain.
him come out, have Jalen Phillips come out with underneath a tarp and just lift up the tarp
Man,
and just turn him loose.
this man gained over 40 pounds of
muscle.
muscle in what, a 6-month period. I mean, it's just it's ridiculous. So
that dude, you know what? That's Jalen Phillips is just one of those dudes, man. That it's like God was up in the laboratory going, yeah, I'm going to make myself a real good football player right here. I'm going to make a pass rusher, and that's what it looks like is Jalen Phillips. I mean, that dude is a beast.
Anthony, the problem with getting Hunt is, listen, Howard was a free agent, and Gordon, you would have had to pay big bucks. So you would have had to, most likely, obviously give something up. And he's looking to get paid. So I think last time I checked, we got Howard for 2 years, 10 million. So listen, Howard averages, I believe, 4.4 yards per carry, and he's 25 years old, man.
Yeah,
So
you have a feeling like he's spent, and it's like he's not.
He's 25 years old, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, Anthony, with Hunt, you're rolling the dice, man. You're rolling the dice
big time.
One more incident, that dude's done.
He's
done.
That's it.
And it's not done suspended. It's done.
And listen, at the end of the day, the reason why I don't think Hunt necessarily makes sense is Flores is trying to build a culture here. Look what he did with the personnel that we had, last year. I mean, we couldn't even get the first pick in the draft because we started winning games. Yeah. And we had no business winning the games that we were winning. So players are buying in.
To me, Brian Flores should have gotten some votes for Coach of the Year.
No,
I'm dead serious. I know we won 5 games.
No, but you can't do that, dude.
He should have gotten some votes for Coach of the Year. What he did with that team was amazing.
Yeah, but nobody's ever going to get coach for.
Get votes. I'm not even saying he should have won. He should have won the award.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, if I had a ballot and I put first, second, and third place, he's getting at least a third place vote for me.
You can't.
For what he did with the Dolphins.
Not when you go 5-11. I agree with. I agree.
Dude, we used the most players in all of football, yet we led the league in fewest penalties.
That's crazy. That is insane to me. Yeah.
What type of discipline?
Very disciplined team, man.
And where does that start?
From like what we've always said, like the same thing that we put on Manny from the top down. It starts with Flores, the top down.
We got ourselves a pearl in Brian Flores. We got ourselves a pearl.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited about the Dolphins too, man. It's gonna be interesting to see. Flores is gonna turn around, Stunner Boy Canes, and that's coming from a Bucs fan.
Man!
Congratulations, Stunner Boy!
You gotta be happy, man. I know he's 43. I know you're not gonna have him for maybe only a couple of years, but man, what a move that is!
Thank you, Primo, man. Appreciate that, wholesome. Hey, Stunner Boy, listen, man. You guys went 7-9 with the blind quarterback, so it's gonna be interesting to see what you guys do with Brady. So I think you guys are definitely gonna be a playoff team. But
you talk about listen. Look at they went after Shaq Barrett. They're giving Shaq Barrett all the money, which he deserves. Okay, that defense is solid.
Yeah,
you're giving Brady some serious
targets
Evans,
now. You got Godwin. I mean, listen. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Now, if you I would be more excited about the Bucs if this was the Brady. Obviously not at 43 years old, but regardless, man, he's gonna have weapons. So, I think. Me personally, I know this is not a popular opinion. I didn't want Tom Brady. And I didn't
makes no sense for the Dolphins.
Not just
a team like Tampa Bay is ready with Brady is ready to compete.
We have
a playoff team. The Bucs right now, hands down. Okay, I get it. I get they still got the Saints in the same division.
Yeah,
but right now the Bucs are a playoff team
100%.
with Tom Brady.
Yeah, 100%.
Listen, they went 7-9 last year with Jameis throwing over 30 interceptions.
Yeah, like I said, a blind quarterback.
Yeah, well, he's apparently having surgery now to fix his eyes. But that's the thing is that makes it instantly. That makes the Bucks a legit contender.
Yeah, but but yeah, I didn't want him as a Dolphin because you were gonna have to give him what the Bucks gave him, like 30 mil.
Well, and it makes no sense. I mean,
And
it makes no sense for Tom
Dolphins
Brady
are
because
still
by the
Swiss
time
cheese. We
right.
still have a lot of holes on this team, man. I know we're shoring up the defense, but we still need to
we're
draft
not ready.
we still need to draft some offensive linemen. We still need to draft a running back. We still obviously need the most important position in all of football. We need a quarterback. Would be nice to see us get possibly another linebacker, another pass rusher, safety. I think I think we need another safety. So there's a lot of holes on this team, man. So to me, everybody, and I got into an argument in my big group chat. We're all diehard Dolphin fans, and I was just like, "Yo, I don't want Brady." And they were like,
No.
"Are you crazy? Are you insane?"
I don't think we were really a contender for him at any time because of that.
Well,
it makes no sense.
Some reports were saying that the Dolphins
But
were making a strong pitch.
By the time, listen, Tom Brady, I don't think he's fallen off the cliff yet. Okay, but he's on the decline, which is normal. It's human. He's Father Time is unbeaten. Father Time is 7 billion and 0. He always wins. Yeah. So, but Brady is on the decline. Okay,
30
so
for 30.
by the time 30 for 30, by the time that Brady is, by the time the Dolphins would actually be ready to compete, Brady would be long gone already.
Oh yeah.
So it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I think that the Bucks are perfect. I even thought it was better than San Diego because I know people were saying with San Diego, I like the Bucks weapons a lot better than I like the San Diego's weapons. Okay, because with the Bucks, you got Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin, who really showed what he can do. Listen, it's the first time since the late 2000s, since the aughts, that 2 wide receivers make the Pro Bowl from the same team.
Mm-hmm.
First time since, I believe, trying to remember I think it was the last one was the Cardinals with Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald. I think that was the last team that had 2 wide receivers in the Pro Bowl, like the Bucks did last year with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. So that's a perfect fit. And for you Bucks fans, man, you guys got us right, Austin. I keep saying San Diego, man. I can't get used to calling them LA Chargers, man.
It's gonna take time.
It's gonna take time for me to get used. I still, because the Rams, when I grew up, they were the LA Rams. So it was natural when they left St. Louis and back to LA to call them LA Rams. But San Diego, they were the Los Angeles Chargers. I believe it was their first year in the AFL, and then they moved to San Diego the following year. Mm-hmm. So, but it's tough for me to call them that. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening, and it's going to be. I'll tell you what. As a Dolphin fan, I was telling Junior and Rick this in our group chat. As much as I hated the Patriots, I had respect for the Patriots, and to see that breakup,
McKinney Lakers all day. That's who I would like to get if we were to draft for the safety. Sorry, but no, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely, McKinney. It's going to be really weird, and it's sad. It really is sad seeing Brady leave the Patriots because it's an end of an era that I don't think we'll ever see again. I don't ever think we'll see a team over 2 decades be as dominant in this day and age, and any day and age for that matter, as the Patriots were with those 2 constants, with Belichick and Brady. And seeing the end of it, it's different. Anthony, I do want to get to your question.
I'll turn on my light.
Oh,
you guys can see me good, right?
Yeah, I can see you good.
All right.
Anthony wanted to know what we thought about the quarterbacks for 2021. Anthony, I did hear a lot about Milrope from Texas. He's committed to Texas now. But that's one of those things, again, even though quarterbacks we need to know sooner, I think we have now, mind you, with Milroe, he has a friendship with De'Aaron King, which is going to help us. Texas also had a change at offensive coordinator, which is going to help us, obviously, to flip him. I know other teams are also making a run at Milroe because they think he's up for grabs because of that change of coordinator with Texas. because apparently he had a really good relationship with the previous one, which is why he committed to him. I really like Miller Moss a lot. Miller Moss is the QB from Cali. Let's see. I still think there's a ways to go there, and we'll see. I know we did offer him. If you guys don't know, Milroe's a QB from Katy, Texas, who is committed to the Longhorns. I still think we're going to make a run at Miller Moss. That would be my preference. I do like Milroe also. I like his tape. We'll see. Let's see. There's so much up in the air with recruiting that it's really hard to get a good feel of what's going to happen. But obviously, like right now, it's Cam Underwood always says follow the visits. And that's a good thing is you follow the visits. Right now, no one's allowed to visit. So it's up in the air. So how can you know if someone's even serious if they don't come to visit?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Wholesome said, do you envision the Dolphins picking up any Canes in the draft? And if so, who would you like to see in Dolphins?
I mean, I'm partial. I'd love to see all of them.
Everyone.
I'd like to see us to draft all of the Canes. I'd like to see Garvin. I think Garvin still has a big upside. I know he underachieved some this past year, but I still think there's more there with Garvin. I think he's one of those guys that if the Dolphins draft him and develop him, I think we could have a special player down the road.
Who in Garvin?
In Garvin.
Yeah.
There's a lot there to work with.
Anthony, I don't see us getting two safeties. McKinney at 18, maybe. But yeah, I don't see it necessarily drafting. I think that's good, baby. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we got too many holes to really just focus on one position. Austin DJ absolutely is a guy that I would want. Because DJ Dallas.
Oh yeah.
He's a guy that I would want.
For sure. We're gonna draft Jeff Thomas in the 7th round. I doubt it. Del Pitt in the 2nd round. Yeah, I like that, Anthony.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. But I don't think Del Pitt's gonna be there.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think Del Pitt's gonna be there.
Teddy Lockett deal.
Last time Lakers all day. Last time I see is I forgot who did a mock draft that had Simmons coming to us. That had us taking Isaiah Simmons, and that would be, I'll tell you what, man.
Hey.
God, you could do so. As a guy who I'd love to be a coordinator both ways, but I actually like being a D coordinator better than I do an offensive one. Although I like working with quarterbacks too. But anyways, as a D coordinator, you take a piece like Isaiah Simmons, and oh my God, is that fun to have on your team? Because you could do so many things with Isaiah Simmons. Because that's a dude that he doesn't have a position. Because really, you could play him anywhere. You could play him anywhere. You could have him blitz. You could have him as a stand-up guy. I wouldn't put his hand in the dirt, but you could have him as a stand-up edge rusher. You could have him, playing that same striker type of position. You could have him, do about anything on the field. You could put him at safety. It's Simmons, man. Oof, that guy is just a monster.
Yeah, but he's gonna be gone.
Yeah, Sammy,
sure. He's a top 10 pick, and I
would absolutely pass on Tua. I like Herbert. I like Justin Herbert a lot. After Joe Burrow, to me, my favorite quarterback in this entire class is Justin Herbert.
But I think that's only because of Tua's injuries.
Yeah.
Issues. I mean, if Tua didn't have the injury issues, I would say Tua.
I would say, listen, but it's still close. That's my point. Even if Tua didn't have the injury issues, it's still close. Herbert's bigger. Herbert has a stronger arm. Tua's better. Yeah, Tua's more accurate, no doubt. Yeah. And he has a certain it for the quarterback position, but he's small. For NFL standards, he's 6'1".
We got a lot of people saying they want to take Simmons at 5.
Listen, that's you can do a lot worse than taking Isaiah Simmons. I can tell you that much.
Need a quarterback, man. And I just think if Herbert's on the board, I don't think you pass on Herbert at 5. I don't know. I'm hearing the Lions really want Tua.
I don't want Tua.
I'm hearing the Lions want
Lions can have him. Listen, if you play for Alabama and you constantly getting hurt, okay, hardly getting touched at times.
Yeah, with that offensive line.
I'm sorry.
Boy.
I'm sorry. And in the NFL, those hits are only going to get a lot worse.
I saw that, Austin Kane. Listen, Jordan Love is good. McShay has Love ahead of Herbert on his board.
Well, a lot of people do. I mean, I think a lot of people have Herbert lower than I do. I'm big on Herbert. I am big on Herbert, man.
I think Kuiper is big on Herbert as well.
I'm big on Herbert.
Yeah.
Not every day you get a guy with that size, that arm, has hits. He marks all the intangibles too. He has that it factor. He's a good leader. You know, I mean, listen, just look at what he did going back to school this year.
Nah, Anthony, I'm not with you, man. If Herbert, I would like Love at 18. If both, if Herbert and Tua are gone, then okay.
And then get Love at 18
at 5.
That's fine.
Love at 18, call it a day. But
I can live with that.
Listen, man.
Thank you, Stunner.
If Herbert is on the board at 5, the Miami Dolphins need to
take him. Stunner says, yeah, Herbert's the truth. Stunner, I do not understand what the deal is with Herbert.
Because they, I don't know.
Tell me the negative. I don't see one. I damn sure see one with Tua.
No, yeah.
Tua can end up being candlelight. One blow and he's out. Did you guys see the hit that Tua messed up his hip? It wasn't even that much of a hit. At first, I thought after I heard it was a hip injury, I went to look at the hit again. And I thought maybe it was like the Bo Jackson one where the guys, trapped the leg and then he pulled it out of the socket. And I'm like, it wasn't even that.
Yeah.
And
A63, A63 saying get draft capital for Lawrence next year. The thing is that the way we're doing
that makes sense.
Yeah, but the way we're attacking free agency, I don't think we're gonna try to do the whole listen, man, you would need to really, really, really give up first of all, you would need to have another bad season to have at least a top 10 pick. And then you could talk about having that draft capital. But listen, man, with as many picks as we have this year and the free agent signings that we've made and we're yet to make, because listen, we still have, I think, 40 something and change in cap space. So we're still going to sign players. I think they're trying to build now. And I don't think they're putting in any thought into getting a quarterback next year. I think they're getting their quarterback this year. And that's just my opinion, man. And I think Herbert's the guy.
HAS, shout out to his baby girl, is officially 1 week old today.
Hey,
God bless her. God bless her, HAS.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations, brother. That's
congrats,
awesome.
Big guy. And
a big fun, man.
A big hug to her and God bless her. And Woodboy was saying about that they didn't like that Herbert. They don't feel he makes anticipation throws. I will say, in his tape, I could agree with that, but he wouldn't be the first QB with a big arm that hangs on to, because he can make the throw. So he can wait that extra split second. Now, is that something that but that's something I do think you can coach. You can coach that be able to make those anticipation throws that you have to make at the NFL. So
Zoe is home.
But at the same time, I think Herbert hits all the other. Is a little too much like Mariota, passive nonverbal leader. You aren't sure Herbert has the alpha dog in him. Legit thing to wonder given his demeanor. His demeanor is a low key. Dante, I'll give you that. But I see his teammates have a tremendous amount of love and respect for him. Remember, Dante, he's a dude that went back to his last year of college just because he wanted to play with his brother for one more year. I think that's something that says something about the character of the young man. And yeah, but listen, Tua is pretty much low key type of guy too. He's not all that rah rah. I mean, he's probably more demonstrative than Herbert is, but not by a ton.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence is a little bit of a low key type of guy. He's not a rah rah type of guy either.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is there's different ways to be leaders. I'll give you a perfect example. Joe Montana. Look at Joe Montana's demeanor compared to Tom Brady. No, I understand, Dante. You're just saying that's what the knock is. That from McShay, but you look at Montana was the exact 180-degree opposite type of dude than Tom Brady was. Where Brady was, yelling and in your face and all this stuff. Montana was, in fact, Montana hardly ever spoke to the team. Okay. He was quiet. He was just Joe Cool. But everybody responded to that. So I agree. And I understand it's not you saying that you were saying that what people, but I almost think, Dante, that what happens with Herbert is what happens at this time of the year with the draft is that when you got a guy that check marks all the boxes,
You try to look for something
that
else.
people are trying to look for something. Going, well, he didn't win the national championship. Yeah, but he won the Pac-10. He won the Rose Bowl. And it's like, well, he's quiet. It's like they're trying to look for something because height-wise, size-wise, athletically, look what he did at the Combine, man. At the Combine, he tore it up.
Yeah.
He tore it up. So I really like Herbert. I really do. I want to go all in on Herbert, and I hope the Dolphins do. We'll see. It's hard to really know what's this time of the year what teams are really thinking because there's a lot of smoke out there. There's teams that'll start saying, they'll start calling somebody, hey, anonymous source, we really want Tua. And it's just because they want that in the press. So teams then approach them for a deal, type of thing. So it's hard to know what's real and what's fake. I agree, Dante.
I'm with you, man. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, go ahead and read it. Yeah, that's a great comment. Go ahead and read it.
If y'all Dolphins pass up Herbert, they will regret it. I want the Raiders to draft Herbert, Easton, or Love. I will be better than Derek Carr going forward. Yeah, Derek Carr.
He plateaued. He plateaued for sure. He had that trajectory that he was on a much better trajectory, but man, he just plateaued and didn't take that next step.
At 20, I would love to get Swift at 26 because that's what a lot of people are talking about. Swift would be nice.
Swift at 26.
That would be nice.
He's a legit running back.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to talk about with the? Jay Knight says Brady was a 6th-round pick. That's all. That's true. 6 QBs drafted ahead of him. What do you guys want to talk about with Kane stuff? Or we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Did you have anything in mind, Junior?
I'm liking this draft talk, man.
All right. Yeah, we can do some more draft talk.
All right. So what's your
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Forget about that his name is Tua and forget about, what he did in college and this and that. If I just said to you, quarterback X, okay, was injured multiple times at Alabama playing behind a great offensive line, which a lot of weeks he wasn't even touched, okay, people would run away from him. The only reason that he's even talked about to the extent that he is because of all those other things. Now, mind you, he's tremendously accurate, throws a really nice ball, throws with anticipation, does a lot of those things that you can't deny that you want in a QB. But in the NFL, guys, he is going to meet guys every single week that could put him out for the year.
Yeah.
And with the history he has, getting hurt on hits that weren't all that, what happens when, a Shaq Barrett lights him up?
Yeah.
Okay, what happens when a J.J. Watt lights him up, with a Aaron Donald lights him up?
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust him. I just don't trust him. Brett Barnes says he doesn't trust lefties. You know, man, there used to be a lot more left-handed quarterbacks than there is nowadays. It's amazing because you had a period of time that there was 3, 4, 5 starters in the NFL that were lefty,
I love
and
lefty.
now, yeah, but now you don't see that anymore.
You know, I love lefty quarterbacks.
I
That's what
mean,
I
I always think back to Ken Stabler and you know because he made lefties cool.
yeah.
You know, because Stabler had all the swag in the world.
Yeah. Michael Vick,
Steve Young.
Yep.
You know, I mean, there was Mark Brunell, who, I mean, he didn't end up being all that great, but he was on a trajectory to be a good quarterback and started getting banged up a lot. And that's who, when people talk to me about Tua, that's who I remind people of. Is to me, Tua reminds me of Mark Brunell. And I don't know if you guys remember Brunell from his time with the Jaguars.
Yeah.
But Brunell was a top tier quarterback when he was healthy, but he was never healthy.
Yeah, HJS says Calais Campbell versus Tool equals disaster.
It's like, can you imagine that? Can you imagine if he dislocated his hip with that hit, if Calais just lands on him, Tua will be out for 2 years.
I bring out the chalk, man.
That's right. Put a chalk outline him where Calais lays him out.
Shoot.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I was like, Brady's not stupid.
I can't believe they let Calais go too, man. I can't, but I'm excited to see him with the Ravens. I think that's a perfect fit with Calais with the Ravens.
It is. Yeah,
and he has some gas left in a tank.
The Jags are just blowing it up, though.
Yeah, they are.
They're going all in on either Minshew or because they traded Peter Foles to the Bears.
Yeah, so, I don't think they're that convinced on Minshew. I think they're blowing it up.
You don't believe in the Minshew
and the mustache?
In the Minshew mania?
Minshew mustache mania? No, I'm not. I saw him and I like it, but I don't think he's a franchise quarterback. No. So we will see.
What receivers are you guys liking in this
draft? In the drafts? That's a good question. Judy, for sure.
Oh, yeah, but there's no way we have a chance at Judy.
No. Unless, and I don't want to pick him with our first pick.
No.
Man, we'll see what falls with us. You know what? This class is pretty. It's not a ton of top tier, but that just below that top tier, HGS, there's a lot of good wide receivers in that class. In this class where you can get a legit one from a second or third rounder. Yeah, Sigmund was talking about the kid Love from Utah. You know, that would be if he would fall, but I would definitely not take him with our first pick. Ruggs. Oh my God. Anthony, what? Jesus Christ. Henry Ruggs. Talk about speed.
I like Ruggs. Oh yeah.
Holy crap.
About the kid. Who is Calais? Is Calais Campbell a Hall of Famer?
That's a good question.
I would need to look at his stats.
I know more or less where his stats are.
Right now, I would say no. He needs to do. It depends how he finishes up his career. Right now, I would say no.
Right now, you'd say no.
Right now, I'll say
Let me see. I could actually pull up his stats here pretty quick.
Hey, listen, Brett. Tough. Gesicki. I know Parker did really good last year, but I think a lot of it had to do with.
See, here's the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It was a lot of just throwing it up to Parker just to see. Hopefully, he comes down with it. I mean, it was like nothing to lose kind of throws. I mean, so, but I don't know, man. I'm scared to be like. I think Parker's legit. I'm scared to say that because he's been up this past year was obviously his best year, and up until this past year, he's been a very big disappointment.
Non-Nunez
contract.
Non-Nunez with the donation with the thank you so much, Don. He said Herbert hype is literally all physical tools, but he can't play QB like Tua or Burrow, and he says it's still all about the U. I disagree with you in terms of that he's about the height. I would agree that Tua, perfectly healthy, is a better QB, at least right now. But I don't think Tua's going to be perfectly healthy. I think that's a dude that's injury prone. And I do think Herbert has physical tools that Tua obviously never has to that extent. I mean, in terms of size and listen, I think Herbert's the problem with Herbert is people didn't stay up late like I did and watch Oregon games late at night. And Herbert's the real deal, man. Herbert's the real deal. And I'm a big believer in Herbert. Right now, I'd say this much. Yes, if I had the number one pick, no doubt I'd take Joe Burrow. But that being said, to me, like I said, even with a perfectly healthy Tua, it's still a competition with him and Herbert. But since we don't have a perfectly healthy Tua, I frankly don't think, to me it's a slam dunk that I'd rather have Herbert any day of the week above Tua. And it's because of those injuries. Now, if somehow or another you could say
Tua stay healthy.
If Tua stays healthy, do I think he's going to be a very good QB? Yes. Do I think he's going to stay healthy? I really don't. Going back to the Calais Campbell question, he has 88 sacks for his career. And because he played D tackle for a lot of his career, which those are pretty amazing numbers for a D tackle. But he did play DN for part of it, and he was a 5-time Pro Bowler. He was only All-Pro once and Defensive Player of the Year once. So he was a 5-time Pro Bowler, but only being an All-Pro once. But he was a Walter Payton Man of the Year this past season. It's close. I think if he has a couple of more good years with the Ravens and they have some team success where he gets the publicity, I think then he becomes a Hall of Famer. But right now it's borderline. But it definitely wouldn't be a first or a second, ballot type of guy. I mean, he'd be a type of guy that if he got voted in, it'd be down the road.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I hope they don't, because early on we were hearing that I think I just lost Big Dog. I'll take this off. I think Big Dog's big fingers log them out of here. Let me invite him again. I'm gonna get right back to you guys. Oh, he's back.
Sorry about that, man.
Big Dog?
Yeah, it's my cursor stayed over the X and actually X me out.
Oh,
but I was able to get back on.
I sent you another invite.
Yeah, I just saw it. Yeah. But I mean, I'd hope he would be, but big fingers. You're right about that. I got the giant mitts for hands. I actually measured my hands, and everybody was talking about hand measurements with quarterbacks, and I measured my hands, and I have over 10 inches of hand we're talking about. Just want to make sure that, because we're good there too. But but the hands are over 10 inches.
10 inches from the ground.
That's right. Anyway, we'll keep it PG. Let's keep it PG. Croqueta fingers, yeah. Mine are croqueta fingers, and the hands are papa rellena. We got a Seahawks fan. Aiden Chris is a Seahawks fan.
Hey,
I'm interested to see our beloved Greg Olson, what he's going to do with the Seahawks this year. Hopefully, he can stay healthy.
So yeah, big if. That's a big if, man.
HJS says that backhand must have been crazy.
Yeah,
you can attest to that. I never backhanded you.
Yeah,
but the threat was there.
I could attest to that, man.
I never backhanded you.
I know. I know.
But
you saying you can attest to that sounds like you used to whoop my ass and backhand the crap out of me.
No. First off, he never even gave me reason to, because he was a great kid. Always, man. No, you had those teenage years that are a pain in the ass, but all boys are a pain in the neck in their teenage years.
Yeah.
No, but he was always a good kid. But at least the threat of the backhand HGS was there.
Yeah. I didn't want no part of that. No part of those humongous hands. But yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Look, I'm excited about the draft. I'm super excited about the Dolphins, what they've been doing. And we'll see. We still got the Dolphins still have a lot of cap space, and we'll see what happens, man. It's gonna be interesting for sure. But if I'm the GM, I'm taking Herbert at 5 if he's there.
I love Herbert, man. Thank you,
man.
I'm glad you said that, man, because I feel like a lone wolf sometimes with Herbert. Because every time I turn on, there's like somebody wants to down him, and I'm like, man, I love this kid. I just love this kid. I just think he is as safe of a pick at QB that we have had outside of Burrow in a while, man. In a while. Because you think about the QBs that have been drafted recently, Kyler Murray, the ones that have been drafted high, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. They all had but Darnold with those picks that they just all of a sudden, like he said, he saw ghost and ends up throwing it to the guy in the other uniform. Baker Mayfield with his height and questionable character, which we've seen.
Well, Baker's going to be on a short leash now because they signed Case Keenum to maybe put some pressure on Baker.
Well, he needs it. He needs it, and he needs to stop worrying about being a personality and being a quarterback. I mean, there's been a lot of QBs drafted recently that all have a yeah, but. I don't see any yeah, but with Justin Herbert. I just don't. He checks all the boxes that I want checked in a QB.
Yeah, Bergie. Bergie says his first round picks for the Finns are Herbert, Judy, and Swift. I wish.
Ooh, that worked for me. That would definitely work for me, Bergie. Hey, listen, we might get 2 out of the 3. I don't think we'll end up getting Judy. But we might get 2 out of those 3. We might end up with Herbert and Swift
after we pick at 5. Because Judy's going top 10.
Yeah, Judy's going up there.
So,
what was Rosen's hiccup? Brett, the thing that knock on Rosen, and you could say to an extent that we've seen it, is that he didn't love football. And people would ding him because he's a wealthy kid. He grew up, I believe his father's a physician. His father's a doctor. So he grew up, wealthy and stuff like that. And that he seemed to supposedly not love football. And now the one thing with Rosen is he's still young. But now that's 2 teams now have given up on him. And think about it. The Cardinals gave up on him in order to go with Kyler Murray, who looks like he's going to overcome it, but who had that big question mark in terms of height.
Yeah, but would you say that Rosen got a fair shot with the Dolphins?
Listen, they were there every practice. They were there every practice. And when you can't beat out Ryan Fitzpatrick,
throw that man out there, though, man.
Oh, I agree. But when they threw him out there, he played horribly. He ended up with, I think, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions. Yeah, okay, that's the same team that Fitzpatrick had.
Yeah. Fitzpatrick was our leading rusher, man.
Fitzpatrick badly outplayed Rosen. It wasn't even close. So at this stage of his career, you can't keep Ryan Fitzpatrick on the bench on the 5-11 team.
A trade down.
But that was the knock on Rosen coming out. But all these QBs have had a ding, and I just don't see any ding with Herbert.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says JF Finstrong says Justin Herbert would be a great pickup for Miami. Brett, yeah, that was sort of the knock on Rosen. Not so much laziness, but that he didn't love football. That he wasn't a guy that was consumed by football.
Right.
That was the knock on him. And also people said his personality can be a little abrasive at times.
Yeah. I agree, Brandon. I agree.
He didn't get a fair shot. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, Brandon, I just don't. I was one of those. You could ask Junior. I was saying, why are we playing Fitzpatrick? Let's throw Rosen in there and see what he has. Oh, Slim Shady with donation. Thank you so much, Slim. He says, Junior and Big Dog, I hate to break it to you, but Brady about to win a couple more rings and Tampa going to run the state for a while.
I don't
Yes.
think. I don't think.
You don't think he's going to win a ring?
Oh, he's not going to win another ring.
I don't think I definitely don't think he's going to win a couple, but I think he's going to win one.
You're with no, man.
I think he's going to win one.
Big dog.
I think they're going to go all in, and I think he's going to win one.
Big dog. He's 43 years old.
Oh, let's see. J Love with a red shirt equals Aaron Rodgers, possibly Mahomes. Non Nunez again with the donation. Thank you so much, Non. No, I don't see that much of an upside with Love. I do like Love, but I don't see that much of an upside.
You like Love, but you don't love Love.
I don't love like that. I don't love him at all like Rodgers or Mahomes. Rodgers and Mahomes, you're looking at after you have to think of the mantle of in terms of just passers, guys. The argument is not about who's the best quarterback. I'm talking about just the best passers. Mm-hmm. You have guys like Joe Namath. They said Sammy Ball way back in the day. But then let's say you talk about like a Namath, Dan Marino, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. Those type of guys, they're generational. Those are guys that come along like once in a generation. And I don't see that with Love. I think Love is good.
Anthony says Love is a souped up Dak.
He's a souped up Dak. I mean, Dak ended up. I know people are like talking about the money, and he's not worth the money that he's asking the Cowboys for.
He's not. He's not.
But he's not.
They offered him $33 million, big dog.
I get it. Listen. I get it, dude.
Out of here, bro.
I get it. He wants Carson Wentz type of money. He deserves Carson Wentz type of money.
Look at Dennis is like, hold on, Junior. My man, 43 is young. You're just getting started.
He's just getting. I mean, listen, Dennis. I did see last year. Brady, the decline started with Brady.
Yeah,
now you can see that if his feet aren't set.
And guys,
that boy ain't getting there.
You guys have been watching the NFL for any period of time, and you guys have seen what happens to once a quarterback starts showing signs of a decline. That wall rolls up on you quick.
Yeah, they usually don't go downhill.
It's not a
they usually fall off a cliff.
No, exactly.
Yeah. And fall off a cliff.
And Brady's 43. He's gonna be 43. I think he turns 43 like in August. So.
Yeah.
When the season starts, he's going to be 43 years old. He's going to be an
Slim Shady with the donation again. Thank you so much, Slim. He says, Junior, Tampa lost 7 of 9 games by 1 score or less, and Brady will throw more than Winston's 30 TDs and a lot less than his 30 interceptions.
See,
that's no doubt. That's no doubt. He's going to throw a lot less 30 interceptions.
Oh, 100%.
Right. The 30 touchdowns. Listen, for all his and you're not going to find a human being on the planet that has a greater dislike for Jameis Winston than I do. Not just because he's a Seminole, but for a lot of other reasons too. Just I can't stand Jameis. The whole eating the wing and stuff. I mean, that thing is like corny to the extreme of where I'm surprised one of his teams didn't just like smack him. Go, what are you doing, man? That whole eating W's. Thing with his fingers, but the and all the other stuff with Jameis, obviously the more serious things also. But so I can't stand Jameis, but you can't say that Jameis doesn't make some throws that are wild throws. The problem with Jameis is he tries to make every throw a wild throw. Okay, but Jameis can make some passes that you look at him and go, oh, man, I love him. Of course, the problem is the very next pass, you go, what the hell were you doing? The type of thing.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think Brady's top gear is – if you look at last season with Brady, if his feet – and that's why the problems with the offensive line. Everybody talked about the lack of weapons.
Have you guys seen, by any chance, the Bucs schedule for next year? Because I had to look it up.
I had to look it up because I was trying to
They,
gauge.
they play the Patriots the following year. They play them in 2021.
No.
Not this year.
No,
Okay.
I'm saying this year. Okay,
Right.
they got the Rams, Chargers, Chiefs, Vikings, Packers at home.
They got all those guys at home.
Yeah. Obviously, they play the Saints twice. Okay.
Right. And they play the Falcons twice, and they play the Panthers twice.
Yeah, the Panthers are, and the Falcons they're okay, I guess. They play at Chicago, at Denver, at Detroit, at the Giants, and at the Raiders.
Those are all winnable games, except for what was the first one you said? Bears. The Bears on the road is going to be tough for them to win.
Yeah.
But the other road games are all winnable games.
But look at the guys they got at home. Packers.
Yeah, those are tough.
Vikings.
But they do get them at home, though.
I understand, but that's
right.
Tough schedule.
Yeah, that's a tough schedule. That's a tough schedule.
So,
especially for. I just think that what Brady's going to bring to that team, and you got to remember, you have one of the most positive coaches. You talk about, I guarantee you, there's no coach in the NFL is more loved by his players than Bruce Arians.
Is that what he signed? Slim Shady, a 3-year, $90 million deal. He signed for 3 years.
I thought it was 2. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought he signed for 2 years. Slim Shady with the donation.
Oh no, 100%. They have a
thank you, Slim.
Core than they had it last year.
Yeah,
100%.
No doubt, Slim. And I'm not saying he's not going to do well. I'm not saying he's not going to do well. The problem with Brady is if you watch last season, Brady used to be able to make off-platform throws. What I saw with Brady, where he's declining, is that he can't make those off-platform throws at all anymore. Right. At all. The old saying about Brady was, if you get him to move off the spot, you can beat him. Now, it is not. And now, if you get him to move off the spot, he's done. He's done. Because I've seen him. The off-platform throws he was making last year were horrible. Were nowhere near what you'd expect from the GOAT.
Yeah.
So listen, the decline is coming. And I think it's already on the way.
Here. That's my
No, that's true. That's true. But he's gonna be better. I mean, to their point though, the Bucs were 7-9 with Jameis Winston last year.
Yeah, I know.
With Tom Brady, they're in the playoffs.
We'll see.
I mean, that's the reality. I'm not talking about last year, this past season. If you change quarterbacks and move Tom Brady instead of Jameis,
I think they're definitely in the playoffs because we got another playoff spot as well.
That's also true, yeah.
So I think they're definitely in the playoffs because now we got 7 teams in each conference going to the playoffs with only the best team in each conference getting the bye weeks instead of the 2 best teams in each conference getting the bye weeks.
I don't like that change, and I also don't like the 17-game season that they're not starting right now. The 17-game season, it's owner's option. And they can do it anytime starting in 2021 forward. So at the earliest, you would see a 17-game season in 2021. I don't like the idea of a 17-game season. The 7th team of the playoff, I don't like. I think you're watering it down a little bit.
You're definitely watering it down.
Yeah, now you're going to have almost every season, you're going to have an 8-8 team, that sneaks in there. I don't like that. One of the things that
the Dolphins could sneak in at 8-8 and shock the world.
No, but you know what? I don't like that. I just don't like it. I think it was one of those things that if it's not broken, why fix it?
Yeah,
it was perfect the way it was. So
it's here. The Bucs will. Brett's saying the Bucs will not make the playoff. I think they will. I think
that's true, Oren. It is less preseason. That would make it when they go to 17, they would only have 3 preseason games, which is a plus because nowadays, guys, I don't know what's going on with this. I don't like it. I don't like that. Back in the day, I know, listen, when they had a 14-game season, the preseason was 6 games. People forget that. But when the seasons were 14 games, which they were up to 1977, the preseason was 6 games, and players played in the preseason.
Yeah.
Literally, they played. So when the season started, these guys were ready. You see a lot of games in week 1, week 2, week 3 where you see a lot of penalties. The games get a little sloppy at times. I don't, there is something to be said with having guys play in the preseason. Now, I'm not talking about your running back. I'm not talking about your running back getting 15 carries or anything such thing in the preseason. But this idea of guys like Harley not playing at all in the preseason, and then week 1 they're supposed to take off running. I don't like that. I don't like what's happening with the preseason. But you're right. If it's going to be like that, yeah, forget 3, have 2 preseason games for all I care.
Yeah,
and then go to an 18 game season then.
Yeah. Sammy says, aren't y'all relieved that the AFC is wide open every year now? I wouldn't go that far because there's
still got him Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick still coaches the Patriots. Yeah. When Bill Belichick leaves, then I feel a lot better. We'll see who the Pats get. Who the Pats Listen, guys, you guys remember that 2008 season, I believe it was, when the Dolphins made the playoffs and Tom Brady went down in the season opener? The Patriots went 11-5 that year with Matt Castle.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not
guys, think about that for a second. Okay. The last time that the Patriots didn't have double-digit wins was in 2002, and they went 9-7 that year. And the year before, they won their first world championship.
Yeah.
So think about that. We're talking about there's people watching this show that are 18 years old that never saw the Patriots, 18 or 20 or 22 that never saw the Patriots not win 10 games in a season. And that 2008 season was the last time that they didn't win the division.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at they have won the division from 2009 to 2019 every single year, 11 consecutive years winning the division, and 17 of the last 18.
That's when Favre was with the Jets, right?
In 2008, yeah, they went 11-5 too.
Yeah,
that year they went 11-5 too that year.
I think it was up to the Dolphins beating the Jets to get
all three. I think all 3 teams ended up like 11-5, but the Patriots ended up in last place. Not last place, in third because of the tiebreakers.
Right.
So we ended up 11-5. I think the Jets did too, and then we had the tiebreakers.
Yeah. But yeah, so I know Brady's gone, but Anthony says, Big Dog, my opinion, when it comes to the quarterback position, best quarterback with a combination of passing ability and being able to check was Peyton Manning with just one word, Omaha.
I will say this: Peyton was definitely probably the smartest QB that ever played in terms of football IQ. But in terms of the best, I'm going with Brady or Montana. I'm going Brady 1, Montana 2.
Yeah, Brett, that's not fair because I've seen that people saying that a lot. We're gonna find out. Who was it? Who was it more? It was Brady or Bill. That's not fair.
Brett, I would agree with that if Brady was 33 and not 43.
That's my point. That's my point.
It's not a fair battle.
We'll get a better gauge on
but you know what? The thing is, Brett, and I'm not knocking you at all. I don't understand why people make that question such a big deal when that's been throughout history.
Yeah.
Seriously, every single coach won their championships with a great quarterback.
Yeah.
You go back to Paul Brown with Otto Graham, Lombardi with Bart Starr, Shula with Bob Greasy, and then later on with Dan Marino. The Steelers with Terry Bradshaw, the Cowboys with Roger Staubach, the Raiders with Ken Stabler, and then Jim Plunkett, who obviously wasn't that great of a QB, but his coach is not even regarded that highly of a great coach, and he won 2 Super Bowls in Tom Flores. Okay, you had Bill Walsh, you had either Joe Montana or Steve Young. So he had back-to-back, actually with Seifert's the one that won with Young, but Walsh had Montana basically his whole career as a head coach.
Yeah.
So every great team, the Cowboys of the 90s with Troy Aikman. Yeah. Every great team had great QBs, but you're right, Brett. For some reason, everybody makes this a big deal. Is it Belichick or is it Brady? The answer is it's both.
No, exactly.
They're both great.
Right. Holson says, are y'all just as excited as I am? Wait, I just read that completely wrong. Are y'all just excited as I am to see how the up-tempo helps out defenses offseason, especially the linebackers, DBs, and coverage?
Yes. Yes, absolutely wholesome. That is the one thing about Rhett Lashley that I think people are overlooking the most is the improvement that he's going to cause with our defense. Because our defense is going to have to get used to playing up tempo, like you said, being able to stay on the field, being able to, even if there's a mismatch, being able to overcome that mismatch, those type of things. I think he's going to improve our defense. I'm not saying anywhere near as much he's going to improve the offense. Obviously, the jump that we're going to have offensively is going to be much greater. But I do think you're going to see our defense playing more athletically, which is good because we finally have linebackers that they're going to have greater speed.
And not just that, but also the defense just being more on the same page, because now it's not, since you're going against that kind of up tempo offense, you're going to be prepared for other up tempo offenses that you're gonna face. So there's going to be a lot
Which
of
is a lot.
hand, right? Well, that's what college football is now. There's going to be a lot of hand singling. There's going to be. You got to be on the same page, man. You got to be on the same page. So these guys are going to have their signals. They're going to have their cues, and it's just going to be a lot quicker for the offense, a lot quicker for the defense. So I think that's going to do nothing but help out the defense. And you want to talk about shape? We're going to be ready. We're going to be ready, and it's going to be interesting to see how much just changing to a spread.
We dropped you there. Or was it me? Was it me that lost the connection?
I don't know. I don't know.
Or maybe it was me that lost connection.
Oh,
here's the thing with the defense that I'll say on top of everything else. If you guys remember when we lost, when Jaquan Johnson obviously went to the NFL, when Jaquan went to the NFL, one of the things that people didn't talk about enough is that when we lost with Jaquan was communication. Now, I think we have a guy by the name of Bubba Bolden who is going to take that role with greater athleticism now. He's a guy who's going to take that role in terms of communicating. And one of the things that going up against Rhett Lashley, it was me that froze that. Thank you, Wholesome. One of the things that's going on with Rhett Lashley is it's going to force not just the secondary, but the team to communicate constantly.
Yeah.
And that's going to help us down the line. And I think the most talked about situation, underrated thing of getting Rhett Lashley is the improvement that he's going to cause in our defense when the season starts, because the guys are going to be used to communicating constantly.
Mindo, how do you think this is going to play out now, man? Like what? So spring is basically done. They're supposed to have the summer off anyway. Do you think they're going to give them the summer now?
I mean, obviously, I think when the all clear,
they're just going to jump straight into fall camp.
I think when the all clear, we have to see what the NCAA decides, because you have to remember they're going to have to listen to the NCAA. Because the NCAA is going to have to come up with a decision, because you're only allowed 15 spring practices.
Right.
So that's measured by the NCAA. You're only allowed this type of contact with the players in certain periods of the year. Okay. That's going to have to all change. Okay. Once we're out of this Corona situation, that's going to, the NCAA is going to have to do something. What I think is going to happen is once the all clear is truly given, which people, I'm letting you know, might not come until June. We might not start being on the backside of that curve until June. Okay. So I hate to tell you that, because, I'd love to tell you that it'll be a couple of weeks and we'll be back up and running. I don't see it happening. I really don't. I don't see us returning to any semblance of normalcy until probably June. Now, let's see what happens. If that is the case,
optimistic.
Yeah, it might be July.
Yeah.
Or you might be looking at July before things start really returning to normal.
Yeah.
So what I'm hoping is that once the all clear is given and we start coming on the other side of this coronavirus situation, I think the NCAA is going to say, have at it. Since you guys didn't have spring, because you have to remember the Canes were one of the teams in the country that were starting the soonest. A lot of teams were starting the spring camp later when it got canceled.
Mhm.
So a lot of those teams did only get 2 or 3 practices at most when we didn't do all that many more. But so I think the NCAA is going to say, have at it. They're going to let revise the schedule to let maybe they'll limit the contact allowed in terms of being with pads and hitting. But I do think they're going to give all colleges a chance to make up for the lost time, for the loss of the springtime. So you might see a long training camp, a long fall camp of 2 months, 2 full months instead of basically 30 days.
You think?
Because
Do you envision us playing games with fans?
come September, I'm hopeful. But you know me, I'm optimistic usually. I'm hopeful by September, maybe they'll be able to be with fans.
Oh my goodness, it just jumped up to 9,269 cases in the U.S. We passed France
That's
and
amazing.
South Korea.
Yeah, it's right now we're only behind China and Italy.
No, we're
Oh,
we're behind.
France.
Well, no,
France is still ahead of us, though.
well, we passed France. Germany has 12,000 infected.
Oh, yeah.
Spain has 14,000 infected. Iran 17,000. Italy 35, and China hasn't really changed. They got 80,000.
So we're still like in 6th place, but that's going to change, obviously.
But can you believe that
That's amazing.
Italy has 4,207 new cases today, and they almost got as many.
They had 475 new deaths today.
Yeah,
Italy.
yeah.
475 new deaths. God bless those people, man, and hopefully things improve for them. But it's horrible what's going on in Italy.
Hey, Gallo Negro, man, just showing some love.
Thank you, Gallo Negro. Thank you so much. I know you love his icon there, his avatar.
Oh yeah,
you love that Miami Heat avatar.
Oh yeah,
that's old school. I loved it.
It's another thing we can't even talk about. We can't even talk about the NBA, man.
Yeah, amazing, man. Oh, have a good one, Anthony. Thank you so much, man. You have a good night.
For the chat, man.
And I'm sorry, guys. I wanted to give shout outs to everybody to everybody that joined us, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Yeah, man. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here soon, man. I'm getting a nasty headache.
I saw you were grabbing your head.
Yeah, man. My head's pounding right now, but it's all good. We're here, man. If you guys want, let's go ahead and do some rapid fire questions, man.
Let's go. We'll do some rapid fire before we get out.
Yeah. So
now it's a lot of stress going on for people, man, and it's nice to be able to chop it up and talk some football and there's a little distraction from all.
I know we came in talking about Corona, and it feels like we're leaving talking about Corona, but
yeah, unfortunately that's something we had to do, but yeah, we are going to Michigan State. I mean, I like the way our schedule's laid out this year. We have those games. I'd actually, in a perfect world, I'd like to see Temple third. I would like us to start off with Wagner, then UAB, and then Temple. But that's fine. I don't care that Temple's first. But I like the fact that we have those three games before, and maybe it's even better that I think Temple's going to, especially our first game that we're going to have some hiccups, are going to make our guys play them and beat them. And then the way we have that set up, where we have 3 games to get the kinks out, and then go into up the East Lansing and take on Michigan State. What are the chances with Ja'Cory Brooks? Good question, Sigmund. I like him, but that's one of those things, Sigmund. Like I don't know if you were with us at the beginning, that I said this recruiting class in 2021 is going to be different than anything we've seen in the past, in that I don't think we will know until November what our recruiting class is actually going to look like, because I think there's a lot of guys like Ja'Cory Brooks where right now we might not be at the top of the list, but if we go into November and they see a really good offense from Rhett Lashley and which I think we're going to have, and with De'Ara King, then all of a sudden we'll move up with guys like Ja'Cory Brooks, with guys like James Williams, with guys like insert the name here. And then I think we'll know come November. Now, if we don't have that type of season, then it'll come November, it's going to flip the other way, where then we're going to end up having a disastrous recruiting year. Still halfway decent just because of how deep the talent is in South Florida, but nowhere near what it should be. So that's the thing. And I think Jacory is one of those guys. And Gallo Negro says, who's better, Couch or Williams? Gallo Negro, I'm going to cheat because I'm going to say I look at them as two completely different positions, because even though they're both corners, I look at Couch as a nickel corner and Christian Williams as an outside the numbers, an outside corner. I like them both.
Nah,
I do.
Yeah. Nah,
Captain Trips. No, I don't mean Temple as far as really. I mean, but we can't even say that, Captain Trips, because of what happened with FIU and Louisiana Tech and Duke. But what I mean is that Temple is enough to at least, we can't play like crap and blow them out like we could like against Wagner or even UAB. That's the only thing I meant with Temple. Not that they're a test. I'm not saying they are.
Brett,
I think winning East Lansing is a test.
When you look up the Dolphins schedule, remember the actual dates haven't come out yet, so we don't know. It only shows the opponents, so it shows up like all the eight games away and all the 8 home games. So that's not the actual game by game schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
Manny, yeah, you're probably right, Sammy. That Temple's going to. I mean, we're going to be the early season Super Bowl for Temple, just because of all and not just Manny, but then getting Quincy Roche and stealing away Feely from them. You know, there's a lot of animosity there from Temple towards us, and so it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Captain Tripps's point was correct. I mean, I wasn't trying to, he said, I see that he understood what I meant. I wasn't saying that they're necessarily a test, but they're out of those first 3 games, they're the toughest one of those 3, and we're playing it first. Or the least is easy. So I can't even say toughest with a straight face, but the less easy. They were solid. That's true.
Yeah.
Temple was solid. Yeah, Brad. When the season comes out, usually the NFL, they won't do any more than 3 games on the road in a row or at home in a row. They won't do any more than 3. I haven't seen that in a long time. It used to be different, but yeah, nowadays they make sure that the worst homestand. I mean, the most games you'll have in a row, either home or away, will be 3, and that usually is not the case either. Stunna says, "Have a good night." Thank you, Stunna. Have a good night. Blessings, man. And hopefully all's well with your family and all your loved ones, and everyone's safe and healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, you ready to roll?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let me see. Did I miss any ones that I can?
I enjoyed the NFL talk.
Yeah,
guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
I cheated. Gallo Negro had one last question. What's your pick there on who I like better, Couch or Williams? And I said I really look at them as 2 completely different positions, because one's an outside corner in Christian Williams and one's a nickel corner in Jacory.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. I think that was brought up last time. Yeah. I think
it's tough.
I love the dog that Couch has.
Yeah, I love that Jacory is a dog. Is 100% all dog with that little body that he has and how tough he plays with that body.
But I love outside corners, man, to have the size that Christian Williams has. Like,
that's the thing. If you force me at gunpoint, Gallo, I'd have to pick Christian Williams just because I do think he could be special on the outside. Yeah. But man, I love the heart that Jacory Couch has. That kid plays like if he was 6'2", 230.
Agreed, Brett. Let's get this virus out of here, man.
Yeah,
guys. Thank you, HJS, and once again, man, send Zoe and your family our blessings, our prayers, our love, man. Have fun with your new baby girl. Keep her home safe, man. Enjoy your time with her, man, and congratulations. I don't know.
And it's one of those things, man, that I know that everybody, all your loved ones and stuff, all your friends and family are going to want to see the baby girl, but you're almost better off by not having anybody visit, man. If they do, put a mask on or something, because that's one of the scary things that people can not exhibit symptoms and then pass the virus on. So one of the things I was talking to my buddy, he was saying he hadn't seen his mom in a while, and she's in her 80s. And I said, dude, and he's still working. I said, you're better off not seeing your mom, because God forbid you get there, you go there and you pass it off to her, and then she ends up getting ill. So the same thing with your baby girl, man. So and much blessings to all of you guys, and please, all you guys, I pray for your families and yourselves, that keep yourselves safe and healthy, and better times will come ahead, and we'll be able to do a full show talking just about football without any other talk.
Instead of our outro being like, oh, if you're new here, please like, subscribe, we should just be like, hey, if you're watching, please wash your hands, self isolate, self quarantine, no big crowds, no elderly people,
Listen, I'll give you an idea. You guys want to know? Hey, there's Rick. I was just talking about Rick Hernandez. That's my buddy, been my friend for over 40 years. Tells you we're both old farts.
Rico.
I had there's a girl that like she babysits with us and with Danny. Her name is Nikki, and sweetheart, beautiful, just an absolutely fantastic young lady and a hard worker. She actually is a waitress at Fish's, and they closed the restaurant on her because for at least 2 or 3 weeks they told her, but it could end up being a lot longer. You're not allowed to be in the restaurants here. They made all restaurants and bars here in Ohio closed. So she's looking for work. So one of the things that she says is, because she come over and like help my wife clean and stuff the house. And I had to tell my wife today, I said, let's give her the money, but I don't want her to come because God forbid, that she was contacting the public a lot where she was working, and she comes in and brings it into the house. So I said, we'll give her the money, and and she doesn't have to worry. Maybe at a later date, she could do something for us. But it's one of those things, but it's the reality of the world that you have to start making decisions like that of who's going to come in your house, whose house are you visiting.
Hey, I didn't go visit I didn't go
visit your mom on her birthday.
I work in Miami Lakes. My mom lives in Hialeah, man. I didn't go see my mom on Monday for her birthday.
There you go.
Because I just wasn't gonna risk it. Because
and your mom's job is with the public.
Yeah, no, and not just that.
You to her, and her to you, and you bring it home to the babies.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
And who's not to say that I have it, and she's not, she's not that young anymore. So who's not to say I have it, and then I could give it to her, and then obviously, put her in jeopardy. So I mean, I was just like,
absolutely,
and she understood and whatnot. But this is
Rick and I.
Rick, we're living right now.
Rick, oh, thank you, Beto Perry. Thank you so much, man. He says this is still the number one show. Thank you, Beto Perry. And we will be able to do more of those breakdown, guys. And like Junior said, if you are new, please like everybody, please like,
subscribe,
but if you're new,
hit the notification bell,
and press all
anytime we do upload a video.
And we are going to do our makeup videos with our video breakdowns of all those that we hadn't covered in the 2020 class, like Daz Worsham and Keyshawn Smith and Isaiah Dunson and all those guys. We are going to do video breakdowns of them and look, and obviously you'll see them drop. So if you subscribe, and but yeah, we'll get obviously back in the swing of things. And but thank you guys for joining us, and man, like I said, just God bless, and I hope all of you stay safe and stay healthy, and look out for your families.
And don't buy so much freaking toilet paper, man.
That's right. Leave some toilet paper for somebody else.
Like, I don't understand why people are so obsessed with toilet
crazy
paper.
Man. It got crazy with toilet paper.
Doodoo and like take a shower, man. Get in the shower and wash, man. Like you don't need freaking I don't know, 200 rolls of toilet paper. Like it's going to
People
be
went
okay, man.
crazy out of all things, you know, because
Buying water. Like people down here are preparing for a hurricane and buying water. Like they're not going to shut off the water because
right,
of coronavirus. It's
right.
not like a hurricane where
No,
you
but like, but
power. Come on.
when social distancing is a new black. That's true, guy. The when we were talking about the whole like thing was going to happen, we went, we bought a lot of canned goods and stuff like that, which you expect that. You expect to run on canned goods because I always thought that there might end up being a shelter in place type of thing where you can't go out. So we wanted to have enough food here and stuff like that's not perishable. But of all the things that end up being scarce was toilet paper. I'm like, I didn't see that one coming at all. At all. I expected the wipes and stuff to be, the people going crazy with the Clorox wipes and the Lysol wipes and stuff. But it's something else. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much and for joining us. And
Rigo says the toilet paper is if they are out in public and someone sneezes, they will crap.
might not even know. There was that. What was that? A meme that going around that showed an Asian lady sneezing at a bus stop, and somebody takes out a gun and shoots her, and then they all come back.
It's crazy.
It is nuts. We definitely look at things. I do think this is going to make a change.
I bet. Yeah, I can imagine.
And guys, I used to, when I was in business, I always had that habit. Junior could tell you, I always shook everybody's hand. Shake a hand firmly. You look them in the eye when you talk, and you're those type of things. I think that's going to change. I think people are going to start getting away from shaking hands. Seriously, I think you're going to go straight to the fist bumps.
Well, I've always at least people that I'm not like if it's not like immediate family or people that I don't know that well, and somebody whatever just comes, like I've been doing it in the warehouse for the longest time, and one of the guys that actually made fun of me, and he's been like, "Yo, dame la mano, chico," like, "Hey, give me your hand," because every time he comes, he goes, and I just, "What's up, man?"
Yeah, that's a generational thing. See, my generation, you always shook hands. Always shook hands. My generation, it was all about shaking hands.
Oh yeah.
But to me, that's a generational thing, and I always shook hands, and I think that's going to change. I think people are going to go to fist bump. They're going to go to something else and not shake hands.
People are nasty, man. You know why? You know why I stopped shaking hands at work?
What?
Because I've been in the bathroom,
and you see people go and they don't wash their hands when they leave the bathroom.
Hands, dude.
Yeah,
I'm being dead serious. I've been in a stall doing my whatever, and there's a urinal, and they go to the urinal, boom boom, do their thing, boom, and I hear the door close, and I'm like, I don't know who it was, but they didn't wash their hands. So you know what? I'm gonna stop shaking everybody's hands. Fist bump for everybody. That's what I started doing.
Do you know what I did have? I always had at work though was the alcohol gel. So I always shook everybody's hand, but I always, I did the gel 5, 6 times, 7 times a day, probably. Yeah. So, but it is that's going to be different. Yeah. Babe Berry says maybe they'll bow. Yeah. Things are going to change. Yeah. And like I said, for people of my generation, especially, man, that was a man thing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You're a man. You shook hands.
You look them in the eye, firm handshake. 100%.
Right. Exactly, and that's going to go by the wayside, man. That's going to go by the wayside. Things change.
It's going to be elbow bumps.
Yeah. The other day when I went the last day of school when I went to pick up Danny, the lady who always sees me, she goes like this and she puts her elbow out. So we did an elbow bump.
Yeah,
and it's like, hold on, I gotta go home and wash my elbow.
Hey, another thing, man, that people don't realize and people don't really pay attention to because they're so focused on, washing their hands, and which rightfully so you should, man. But cell phones.
Oh, that's true.
Wash your cell phones, man. Now, not wash them, but get those wipes.
Yeah, wipe them down.
Man. Hey, the cell phones. There was a study done are like the most dirty thing that people has on them because you set it down here, you set it down there, and you never like wipe down your phone. I mean, who does that? Wipe down your cell phones, man. You'll be surprised at how much bacteria they carry, and they could carry obviously the virus.
You know what I was surprised, and I heard today because in a lot of places, a lot of cities and states, they've outlawed plastic bags, right. and people have those reusable bags that they take to the grocery store. Mm-hmm. That the problem is those reusable bags are like 46% more likely to cause like salmonella poisoning and those type of things because those bags are dirty.
Yeah.
Because when you get plastic bags in the supermarket, they get them from that pack. They're not, there's no bacteria on them.
Right.
And these the bags that people take to the grocery store, they fill them up. Those things are like full of bacteria.
Yeah. No,
So it's strange. It's strange. Things have changed.
a lot of dirty people out there. Well, all right, guys. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. Thank you so much once again for joining us tonight, man. We hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Hopefully, we're here next week, and there's not any drastic changes. Hopefully, things start to level out soon, man. All we can do is pray, man, and do what we can as citizens in this country, man, to at least do our part in staying clean, helping those that need help, man.
That's one thing I would ask for you, man. Those of you that can try to help those that are less fortunate.
I know everybody's freaked out and everybody's like, man, I'm worried. I'm worried about mine. Right? I understand 100%. But if you're good and you do have that ability, whether it be financially or physically, whatever it may be, to help out other people, man, help them out. Just put on gloves and a hazmat suit before you do so.
Yeah, no, but seriously, yeah. When those of you can, thank you, Captain Trips. You have a great night, guys. But yeah, that's one thing is, yeah, if you can, if it's within your ability and you can help those that are less fortunate, man, because there's going to be some people in need. And listen, one of the things that I have faith in is the good in people. And as a country, whenever we have been at our worst, we've always ended up being at our best.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are too young to remember, man, when 9/11 happened, and this happened all over the country, there was lines that would take 12-hour lines for people to donate blood. A lot of that blood ended up going to waste because of so many people donated blood because they felt that was the only thing that they could do to help in 9/11. And that happened all over the country. People would wait in line for 12 hours to donate blood. And that was proof that when we have been at our lowest is when we have shown as Americans to be at our best. And I have faith that you guys will continue that tradition and help each other and we'll get through this.
Black, white, blue, red, orange, it doesn't matter. Race you are, man. We're all Americans. We're all in this together, and we will overcome and get through this together, man. So
absolutely,
you already know what it is, man. Hey, hope you guys have a good night. As always, it's all
about this you
and the Dolphins.
Good night, guys. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe.